Android versus iOS. This is not just a smartphone comparison. This is a multi-billion-dollar global battle that shapes technology, business, and even culture. On one side, Apple. Premium devices, closed ecosystem, high profit margins. Apple earns over $100 billion annually from iPhone sales and services, dominating the profit side of the smartphone market. On the other side, Google with Android. Open source, flexible, adopted by over 3 billion devices worldwide, commanding the largest market share globally. Think about it. More users doesn't necessarily mean more profit. Now ask yourself, who is actually winning this war? The one with the numbers or the one with the revenue? And what about the users? Are they really winning too, or are they just part of the battlefield?
In 2007, Steve Jobs stepped on stage and introduced the first iPhone. This was not just a phone launch, it was a strategic revolution in mobile computing. Jobs emphasized, it's not just a device, it's a platform for innovation, services, and identity. Shortly after, Google accelerated Android's development. Its strategy was opposite to Apple's. Apple, total control of hardware plus software plus app ecosystem. Android, open to any manufacturer, software-free and scalable. From day one, it was control versus freedom. Apple aimed at profit per device. Android aimed at global dominance through adoption. Fun fact, in the first year, Android phones sold less than 1 million devices, while iPhones sold over 6 million units globally, setting the stage for this epic clash.
Apple's revenue streams. iPhone sales over $65 billion in 2025 Q1. App Store and subscriptions. Apple earns over $20 billion annually from services. Ecosystem products. AirPods, Apple Watch, iPad, MacBook. Google's Android model. Advertising. Google earns billions from ads delivered through Android devices. Play Store, a 30% commission on paid apps. Data-driven business model. Android allows massive data collection for AI and ad targeting. Key insight. Apple prioritizes profit per device. Google prioritizes user base growth and ad revenue. Question for the audience. Would you rather dominate the market with numbers or maximize profit per user? Hint, both strategies have their own advantages and pitfalls.
Apple's ecosystem is the ultimate strategic weapon. iPhone plus iPad plus Mac plus Apple Watch plus AirPods. Seamless sync, continuity, handoff. Services like iCloud, Apple Music, Apple Pay lock users in. The result? Users rarely switch brands. Switching costs are high, sometimes exceeding $1,000 in terms of lost apps and subscriptions. Android's ecosystem. Multiple manufacturers, Samsung, Xiaomi, Pixel, OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo. Customizable software and hardware options. Wide variety, lower cost, fragmented experience. Debate question. Is integration and convenience worth the price of freedom and choice?
Apple marketing strategy focuses on emotion over specs. Campaigns like Think Different and iconic keynote presentations turns devices into status symbols, not just gadgets. Android marketing highlights technical superiority, RAM, battery life, camera resolution. Focuses on variety and innovation, not lifestyle. Fact, Apple's ads target emotional triggers. Android targets logic and comparison. Engagement question. Do you buy a phone for specs or how it makes you feel? Market share versus profit, the great paradox. Android 72% global market share. iOS 28% market share. Yet Apple earns over 60% of total smartphone profits, meaning numbers versus profitability. This paradox drives debate. More users doesn't equal more money. Critical question, who is stronger, the one dominating globally or the one dominating profits? User psychology. It's not just a phone.
Users aren't choosing devices, they're choosing identities. iPhone users, status, security, premium lifestyle. Android users, flexibility, independence, value conscious. Behavioral insights. iPhone users are more brand loyal, around 90% retention rate. Android users are more experimental, often switching brands for new features or deals. Audience question. Are you choosing a device or what it says about you?
Developer economy, where the real money is. iOS developers earn $64 per user on average versus $21 per Android user. iOS has fewer users but higher spending per user. Android, huge user base, lower revenue per user. Implication: developers often prefer iOS for monetization despite Android's reach. Question: from a business perspective, which platform wins, reach or revenue?
The next phase of the Android versus iOS war isn't about cameras, it's about intelligence. For years, Apple built its strategy around control, hardware, software, and ecosystem, a vision shaped by Steve Jobs: own the entire experience. Today, that strategy shows its true power. Apple designs its own chips, it controls its operating system, it tightly integrates devices, phone, watch, laptop, tablet. That integration makes everything faster, smoother, and more private. Meanwhile, Android operates on a completely different philosophy. Led by Google, Android's biggest weapon isn't hardware. It's AI and data scale. Android runs on billions of devices worldwide. That scale feeds data. Data trains AI, and AI shapes the future experience. So the war is evolving. Apple bets on vertical integration and on-device intelligence. Google bets on cloud intelligence and global scale. The next smartphones won't just respond, they'll predict. They'll write messages, edit photos automatically, understand context, act before you even ask. Whoever builds the smarter assistant wins long-term loyalty. There's also the silicon battle. Apple's custom chips give it efficiency and control. Android's ecosystem offers flexibility but less unified optimization. In the AI era, hardware-software harmony matters more than ever. Then comes ecosystem lock-in. When users invest in apps, cloud storage, wearables, and subscriptions, switching becomes harder. Apple creates deep integration and emotional attachment. Android offers freedom and variety. Two different strategies, two different strengths. And the real question isn't which phone is better. It's who will control your digital life in the next decade? Your data, your habits, your AI assistant, your ecosystem. This war isn't ending. It's just entering its most important phase. And most users won't even realize it's happening.
Now it's your turn. Android or iOS? Who really wins this war? Market share? Profit? Freedom? Ecosystem control? Comment below, defend your side, and let the debate begin. Because in this billion-dollar battle, everyone thinks they are right.